I'm here with Leon, team captain of Team Villanark.
Howdy, howdy.
What'd you do today?
So we went to the Intercollegiate Yugioh Championship, and after a very rough 2022 performance, going 1-5 on Marincess, we placed second overall today, and I personally went 6-0.
What were we playing?
Kashtira, something I picked up at the start of the year because it was kind of cheap because I already had Fenrir's, and I've just fallen in love with this deck so much. I can't wait for them to hit Snake Eyes and for this to be the best deck in the game again.
I hear that. Anything you want to say before we get into the deck profile?
Yeah, we had a lot of sponsors help us get out to California this year, and I'm very grateful for them. So, of course, we have No Limit Gaming and Refined Gaming. They contributed a lot to help us get out. We also had some last-minute sponsors. We had GMCO, specifically Andre in what department?
Head of marketing.
Head of marketing. Gave us a good chunk to help us pay for some expenses that we needed help with. Morgan Green Consulting and Glacial Supply Services. Glacial Support Services. That is my bad. They contributed a lot, and they are very much a part of how we got out here and were able to show the rest of the league what we got. So, thank you very much.
Awesome. Let's get right into the profile then.
Sure. Starting off real simple. 3 Unicorn. He's the guy. That's the dude. I kind of look like Unicorn a little bit. Sometimes. I gotta, you know? 3 Fenrir, 2 Rise, 1 Scare Cash.
Now, is this a bit smaller of a Kashtira package than other lists would play?
Yeah, so up until this weekend, I was actually on, for a long time I was on 3 Rise, and up until literally this event, I was on Ogre. Here's my issue with those cards. They are, Ogre and Prep are like the only Kashtira cards that don't do anything on their own. They're not inherent extenders. They're not inherent starters. They're often not live. And like the hand rip is good against some decks. For example, if a deck's playing a bunch of 1-ofs and you really, really need to keep them off them, then Rise Heart banish 3 from top of a deck, and then Ogre banish 1 from the next 5 could be brutal. Something like Voiceless, it's really good. But I just can't keep bricking on them in this format. I need to see non-engine plus playable, and those cards are often not playable if I open them, and I have to play both for either of them to be worth playing. So I'm on a smaller package. These are great. I play 2 of this because I need room for the third one, and I don't like playing 41. And then this outs a lot of problems that Cash usually has trouble dealing with. Mekonko cards, towers, so on and so forth.
Nice.
So, Kashtira monsters. Moving on to spells. 3 planet, 1 planet. 3 planet, 1 terraforming. Does a lot. Boosts your stuff. Helps you OTK. Self-explanatory. Best card. Love this. And then cash spells. 3 birth, 3 theosis. I know some people cut down on theosis. I think that's wrong. I think you either play 3 rise, 2 theosis. Or 3 Theosis, 2 Rise, or 3 and 3. I think that the worst combination is 3 Rise, 2 Theosis personally. And then just, because you're just going to be low on attributes and stuff. And, this helps so much, especially right now with how many, runic stun decks you play. This kept getting banished off the top for me, and that just helped me keep my resource engine going over and over and over again. So, runic spells, Kashtira stuff. Miscellaneous, 3 Pot of Prosperity. Your extra deck is basically a toolbox, and you don't ever need all of it, and you really need an outbreak. So, of course, you play Prosby. And my one of choice in this deck was Called By.
Did it come up a lot today?
Yeah, Called By is crazy. So, just statistically, because you're playing draw cards, you're playing Prosby, so on and so forth, right? You're going to see called by more than you are going to in other decks, and it just has so much utility. Called by Princess is really good for this deck because it struggles a lot with trying to play through Princess on first summon. Called by on Droll can help you play through a board. At some point against Runic Stun, I called by to border. I went called by target Inspector Border in the graveyard that I already swung over to play my turn.
Based.
So that was really, really cool. I think this card's crazy. This format, going first, going second, just in general, I think it's fantastic. Moving on to non-engine. I guess this was a little bit non-engine, but whatever. 3-shifter, I hardly know her. Oh, man. My beloved. My limited edition secret rares.
Those are pretty nice.
Card's crazy, you got to play it.
Yeah.
What can I say? Some people simply cannot play through shifter. Some decks just can't do it. I faced against Snake Eyes twice where they just had crazy hands, but not through shifter because they couldn't activate OSS and they couldn't send for Witch, and they couldn't even make Link Rebo because whatever they would Link Rebo off into would just get shifted. Yeah. And honestly, real talk, if this gets banned when the Snake Eye stuff gets hit, I'm putting Imsetis in here. I don't care. Like, I don't care, dude. I don't.
Imseti's crazy.
But yeah, gotta play it. They're pretty standard. I've got 3 Imperm, 3 Mourner because negate card good this format. You hit an Oak, you hit an Ash. I Mournered an Oak to win our semifinals round. And then Ash just has a bunch of utility in general, especially with the runic builds floating around. And then my kind of wacky non-engine of choice for the weekend was Ogre.
Ooh.
Ogre came up so much. I can't begin to tell you how correct of a decision this card was. Ogre hit so many things. It hit Snake Eyes Field Spell for me. It hit Runic Fountain, Voiceless Continuous stuff. Just in general, a fantastic card. Worst case scenario, you draw the shifter, in which case this is a level 3 tuner. I use this to make Baron, I think, genuinely 4 times. It's just so consistently good, I think. I need to play it.
What was your most impactful hit with the Ghost Ogre?
My most impactful hit with a Ghost Ogre?
Today.
In my round 1, I played against Pure Snake, and they had I think they were under shifter. No, it wasn't under shifter, but they just didn't have a fantastic board state, so they needed to play on my turn. And they had 3 or 4 ways to do it, and one of those ways was Temple, and I slowly picked them off, and then right at the end I went Special Summon, and they went Temple, and I went Ogre, and he went he literally went, bro, you're main decking that? Your shifter
Nobody's
deck?
expecting that card.
No one's ready. I think it's fantastic. Hit Princesses with it, and they don't end on anything. And I have 2 slots left. Shouts out Phil, my Kashtira guru. Set rotation Necro Valley.
Oh, the real spice.
Yeah, this card was crazy. You can go back and watch the VOD. This won me my finals round. In the finals, I was playing against Runic Stun. So this combination does a few things for you. Mainly is that you're going to be handing them the Necro Valley, and this just does nothing for them, right? This hand, you could pick a field spell that would be neutral, right? And you would still get a lot of the benefit out of the set rotation. But the fact that it's Necro Valley in particular is just so brutal against them. Set rotation is a bunch of stuff. So going first, extra copies of Planet if you need it. It can get you the Necro Valley if you really want. Going second, it outs Island and Fountain in a way that can't be protected against. Because you're not destroying it, you're just activating a new card you're setting a card on their field. So it'll trigger the island, it'll destroy the fountain. My finals match was determined by I didn't need it, but I top decked a set rotation. I went draw face set rotation, and he scooped because I sent his fountain and he had nothing else to do. And then interestingly, if this is your vibe, if you're playing against something like Runic Stun, you can go set rotation, set a planet on your field, set Necro Valley on their field, and then not activate your planet, and just keeps them off Fountain. This card's crazy. I only took it out specifically going second against decks that didn't have a field spell or pure Snake Eyes because it's just not as impactful as hitting things like Fountain against stun, hitting islands, stuff like that. But I thought this was crazy, and I'm going to be playing this moving forward, I think. So that's the main deck, 40 cards, nice and concise. Real quick, let's move on to the extra. This is backwards, so...
Not anymore.
Not anymore. They make this game too easy. See how quick I did that? Anyway,
That was nice.
Utility 7s, Shang, you got to play 1. If you open Planet Shifter, it's just the best thing to make. It's so much interaction. Time card, burns. Honestly, I make this out of time more than I do in time. I put my opponent on like 7,000 damage, and I just stare at him. I tell him out it, and it's really difficult. Kashtira Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation, honorary Kashtira card, does so much, banishes your Theosises, pushes shit out of your grave. It's fantastic. This card is so fucking good. Oh my god. Anyway, Big Eye, he's huge. How could I not play him? He's ginormous. So a few things about Big Eye. One, all the voiceless stuff, all the good cards are 7s. So you can snag one of their cards and then put it under one of your Xyzs, and it's basically gone forever effectively for them. Yeah, he's just pretty good. Steal a dragon, you can like go effect, steal a Flamberge, and then Flamberge set a card that they have, and then you pass turn, and then you Flamberge steal their card. Ooh. Oh my god, Big Eye's gross. Great Deli, glad to have her back, she was out of my list for a while. This card is just a utility card. If you put your opponent on like nothing and they have a loaded grave, you can just make this, and then whatever they summon with it in their loaded graveyard is like whatever, honestly. We play Dragosack. We like to outflood gates. We like make token. We don't like lose skill drain. This covers all of those things. It also opens up the link package that I'm going to show in a second. So those are utility 7s. I think this is standard. I think you could mess with the ratios a little bit. You could cut some of the I'm playing Typhon Zeus because Typhon Zeus. The fact that this gets turned up by Planet is funny to me. So much so that I point it out to my opponents because I just find it so entertaining. But like, it's Typhon. You don't want to lose to Brandon. You don't want to lose to, if you're in the grind game, you just make this and then you can't use Flamberge. Especially in this deck because they can't swing over it usually. Because I don't need to bounce their card. I just need them to not be able to use Flamberge. That's pretty cool. You could cut down on these to play more of this. I know a lot of people like 2 Dark Armed or 2 Big Eye or something. Anyway, but yeah, these two. Link package. So, Spider. This is not a good deck for the Arachnophobic. You make these a lot, and you don't want to like have a token and then you make Link Spider scare yourself. Link Spider, Crystal Heart, Heat Soul, Apo. So about this package, everyone likes Heat Soul, but I'm not everyone. I'm Leon. I'm Leon A of Team Villain Arc. No, I hate Heat Soul. I think you need to have it in here if you're going to play them
for a reason.
Yeah, I'm a villain because I dislike bad cards.
Fair.
Your rogue decks aren't fun kids. All right, just play meta. No,
Don't play meta.
Heat Soul. My problem with Heat Soul is that it's a Prosby deck, and a lot of times you need Prosby to start your plays. And like, if your best line under without Shifter, because that's what all this is, it's non-Shifter lines. If your best line without Shifter is to go into Heat Soul, something that you often just turn off, like, you're in a really bad spot. I think you need to play it if your hands like really suck and you will genuinely end on nothing. But if your hand's like fine, then I think you just link off the Dracosack and everything else you're gonna link off anyways for a 3-mana Apo, because at that point like you can't get nibbed. I actually didn't make Apo once today, and that's because everyone assumed I was gonna go on Heat Soul and nib me early, and I was like, okay, so I'll play my turn, I'll activate burst something back. But like, the threat of one of these cards is really good, and this is just a 3-mana Apo plus like Ephemeral Birth is insane.
That's crazy, yeah.
It's such a good, especially if your hand's like already good. I mean, I'm playing 15 hand traps, so yeah. And then Baron SP.
Baron was a house today.
Baron home.
Nice
My
synchro
beloved.
zone, idiot.
Yeah, so yes, actually, I almost forgot. Yeah, so I made a lot of Barons today because I played against decks that facilitated me to want an Omni Negate. Baron in particular, just like Synchro Zone, like that being the floodgate that's being played makes Baron really useful. The fact that I was on Shifter and Ghost Ogre means that Ogre became Baron fodder a lot. I made it a lot today. A lot more than I usually do. I think I made the Little Knight once. It mattered, but I made the Little Knight once. But the Baron really came in clutch. I feel like you can't cut it, especially when you're playing what I am, which is 9 Ghost Girls. You just have to be playing Baron. It's so good, especially since it insulates you around Nib and stuff. But yeah, that's the extra. I don't think I would change a goddamn thing. I think this is perfectly balanced and just does exactly what it needs to do the whole time. Finally, yeah, so I used to play Kali Yuga. That's what he's mentioning here. I used to Kali Yuga lock people, but Bestials became popular again, so I can't do that. I do think it's the strongest thing Kashtira can do, but can't play it right now. Side deck, I only have 3 going first cards. Summon, limit, cards cracked. Flip it, and win game often.
Don't a lot of cash lists usually run like Solemns?
Yes, so a lot of people run Judgment because we lose to generic board breakers. Generic board breakers aren't really being played because they're not great against the fire decks. Things like Evenly, things like Dark Ruler. But, I'm making Baron a lot now, so that helps. And if I get hit with an Evenly, like, I gotta lose to something, If I get hit with an Evenly, I just stand proud, Kashtira, you are strong, and move on with my life. It just happens. You gotta lose to something, right?
Not tears, usually.
So I'm going second cards. Golem. This is for every matchup not named Fire because it wins game. It's so good. Sadly, I didn't see it once today, but it's usually like the MVP of my extra. This goes in when Shifter's not good. It's crazy how like 1-for-1 that is. This goes in over Shifter against Vanadium. This goes in over Shifter against Rika. This goes in over Shifter in the mirror, and it's just crazy how like perfectly it overlaps those matchups. I think you just got to play it on the side. 3 Cosmic. I was swayed into playing Cosmic, and it was the right decision. I was going to go Lightning Storm Duster. But I think this was correct. Thank you to my teammates who beat some sense into me last night about it after a heated discussion. This was correct. It just has so much utility, especially on the draw. All this feels pretty standard. Let's talk about the Spice. This is, I think, genuinely one of the best cards Kashtira can play, and I feel like nobody's on it because they are thinking very service level about it. And that is 3 Raigeki in beautiful gold rare. This is my favorite version of Raigeki. Actually, I really like the gold.
I'm starting to.
So yeah, because I keep trying to convince
you.
you.
If you want it.
Yes. And so let's talk Raigeki real fast. What time am I at?
18.
Oh my god. Whatever.
You've been talking for a minute.
Whatever.
Hey, that means we get mid-roll ads.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
True. YouTube clout. YouTube money. Let's talk Raigeki. Raigeki's crazy. So the thing about Raigeki in this deck is its capacity to crack boards matters based on your how your opponent wants to use their interaction. And the issue is that so many of my cards are so singularly threatening that they force interaction. If my opponent has full Snake Eyes board and the first thing I do is special Fenrir, they might be forced to princess it because I'm going to pick off something too important if they don't. So if I can put them in an awkward board state and then activate the Raigeki, I don't just drop it, and then I activate the Raigeki, they might be screwed. Oftentimes this involves baiting my opponent into summoning Princess and then Raigeking their board with a Princess so they can't IP anything off because they don't have anything worth going into because they're fire locked. This could involve forcing my opponent to go field spell, push Ash, Ash for Poplar, summon the Poplar, and then I wipe the board. This could be against Voiceless. I could force out the Omni and then bait out a summon of Saravis because they're expecting an inherent summon, and then drop the Raigeki. You just have to be careful. I think it's a card where you just need to not shotgun it. You need to hold it, and it's so good when you do that. It is so versatile in how well it just cracks a board, especially since it's like you just don't go minus. You just clear a board for free. You just have to bait the interaction out.
and it's fantastic. And this won me so many games today. Just playing very patiently, and then or in the grind game even. My opponent has like a weak board in the grind game, and they can't deal with it anyway. Just a fantastic card. I'm so glad that I decided to go back to it for this event because it's been out of my deck for a while.
And nobody's ever expecting it.
No one's ever expecting Raigeki, and it's
Right, what?
fantastic. Yes. Anyway, that's the profile. I don't think I would change a single thing. I know I've been droning on for like 20-something minutes, but honestly, I'm really proud of myself, and I wanted to talk about a deck that I love, that I was really, really proud of making, and it took a lot of effort and a lot of time and focus went into this. So I feel justified talking about it for 20-something minutes. Last time I babbled for this long was the last Intercollegiate. I had to re-record my deck profile, and it was about Marincess, and I'm sitting there explaining why I'm playing 3 Blue Tang. So at least now I'm sitting here talking about why my weird tech choices actually paid off. Real quick, I just want to shout out some people. Of course, my wonderful teammates who are here with me today. My good friend Colin. We've got Andrew on the camera right now. Couldn't have done it without you guys. UC Riverside, you guys were sick. You guys gave us these cool field little tokens. That was cool. Of course, Phil E from the Kashtira Discord. I think he's crazy at this deck. He always has something interesting to show me that I think is almost always worth playing. I mean, that's where Set Rotation Necrovalley came from. That's where the Cal Yuga stuff I was doing before. Fantastic. And of course, I can never get away with the deck profile without mentioning my boys in Cleveland, Interstellar Gaming Team. They're a great group of people. They taught me how to play this game, and they continue to be some of the most supportive, wonderful people I know, constantly helping me. And I wouldn't be here without them both, just where I am as a player and where I am as a person. And I hope I made them proud today. I rep my field center for them. So, yeah, especially Steven, my coach. He helped me make this build. He's been helping me a lot, and he really has been with me through my journey from mediocre to somewhat competent at this game. So, yeah. To a good community, to a great game, may we open our starters and draw our outs.
Go Bucks.